Hello mortal humans and welcome back to the channel. So, today's episode, we have a double episode and first thing, no it's not the simple tank. Second thing, my freaking Google Docs is not loading so I can't write a script. But anyway, I have this trusty book and it is not, and I am not getting my information off Wikipedia anymore because I have this out from the library for a few weeks. So, today we'll be focusing on the Grille and the SD.KFZ 251 anti-tank version. So, brief history about these two machines. First we'll start with the Grille. So it was designed in 1942 based on the Panzer 35T. It entered service in 1943. Made by Germany during World War II, but the tank that it's based on is Czech. I'm just going to say Czech. And it weighed about 12 tons, crew of 4, driver, and then the rest of them loader, gunner, commander. Main armament was a 15 centimeter kind of siege cannon, and it had a secondary armament of a MG34 machine gun positioned in the hull. Its armor was maximum 15 millimeters, which for a tank isn't actually that much. Well, the hull is doesn't say what the armor was for the Panzer 35T, that's in a different part of the book, but that's for this area here, which was the main kind of crew compartment, so not much protection. But this thing kind of stayed behind the lines. It wasn't a tank destroyer. It could go 42 kilometers an hour for 190 kilometers, or 118 miles, depending what part of the world you're in. Sorry about that really quick bad cut. It could go maximum 42 kilometers an hour and range of about 190 miles or 118 kilometers. Oh, no, wrong one. 190 kilometers and 118 miles, depending what part of the world you're in. And if you're in America and you still use Imperial, switch over to metric. It's a lot easier. But anyway, let's get into the build and then we'll get onto this thing, which is really cool. So, the build that I've got has the base Panzer 35T chassis. It's been modified, or it's modified, the real one would be modified to hold this large superstructure, which would be thin pieces of metal bolted onto the side of it. So not that much protection, as I just said. Anyway, it has tracks, roll reasonably well. This is a reasonably flat surface. Yeah, I cannot speak today. Travel lock, which can fold down. This is the second build that I've got that has a travel lock. The first one was the IS-2 from a few weeks ago. It's pretty cool because the gun can elevate to 90 degrees, though the real one would be like 88 degrees. And you could it would really have a spring-loaded thing which would add a little bit of, which would fill in this armor plate here. So that would fold down and it would kind of go like this, depending which way you position the gun. Yeah, it would have a secondary armament probably around here or something. So the driver would sit kind of in here. Now there's not much space in here. I didn't add any of the shell racks because this is going into a build and it's going to be knocked out. But the breech is kind of large on the real one. It's got quite a large breech, which goes. So the breech is it's quite easy to show on this gun, which I'll get to next. But the breech is essentially the part that you put the shell in, close it. So when I get onto the 251, I'll explain about that. So I'm going to be getting decals, hopefully soon. And I'm going to have insignias on all of my German and Soviet vehicles. and that'll be very good, so I hope that happens soon. But yeah, that's the build, and now let's get on to the... Please say this works. No, other way. .251. So, this is the SD.KFZ 251. It is a medium half track. So this is the anti-tank variant with the Packgewehr 34. Yeah, so anti-tank gun, which that basically translates to. In the back of my book, it has different definitions on what that means. So, pack. Where is it? So, Panzerabwehrkanonen, which literally translates to anti-tank gun. So that's what pack means if you were ever wondering. So this is the SD.KFZ 251. It is the anti-tank variant. And it's pretty cool. It's also known as an APC, or Armoured Personnel Carrier. It's a half track, so it means that half of the wheels and half of its tracks, the other half's wheels. So steering is the front wheels steer like a normal car, but you can't really steer tracks like that. So when you steer, one of the tracks speeds up while that steers as well. So it's got reasonably good maneuverability. It's got 2 little window slits for the driver, and there would also be a secondary driver or machine gunner. Does it say how many people it could hold? It probably does. I think I saw somewhere it could hold about 10 people, which is a reasonable small company, and they can hold also an anti-tank gun. So this is kind of what it would look like without the gun. I'm just going to leave that block in there because I'm not putting that back. Yeah, it's got reasonable sloped armour. It's entered service in 1939, but started development in 1937. Yeah, crew. 2 crew members, a driver and a secondary driver, and could have up to 10 infantrymen. So that's just your average soldier. The main armament was for the base model was 2 MG34s. The armor maximum is similar to the Grille, or basically the same, 15 millimeters, which for an APC at the time is alright. At performance, could go 53 kilometers an hour, 33 miles per hour, and had a range of 300 kilometers or 185 miles, which is actually pretty good. They saw service right the way through the war, and even saw service after the war, and they were used by the Swiss. So basically, the same guys that built the Panzer 35T, the Czechs, when the Germans invaded, they also used their factories to build these things. And after the war, the Czechs were like, we need an armoured personnel carrier. We've got the factories, and we've got the plans and designs for it, so we'll just mass produce these things again. They built about 184 of them after the war, but during the war they built exactly 10,602. That's all variants. There were lots of different variants. There were command vehicles, which had lots of radios and stuff. There were artillery vehicles, which had artillery guns, not anti-tank guns. The difference between an anti-tank gun and an artillery gun is artillery is made to go long distances and make big holes. Anti-tank guns are specifically designed to knock out tanks. Infantry support, so they'd have low caliber guns on them to help support the infantry support. So yeah, now the model. Let's put you back there. So, this is the build. Editing is all over the place today. Sorry about that. And yeah, so this is the build. You've got the base build here. It's actually pretty easy to modify it for anything. You can put It can't really fit much people because there's the motor, which kind of takes up a large portion of the space, but you can sit people in it. If I just get that German guy here. Oh, he's on the phone. Let's get you. Got our German infantryman. You can put him in there, but he's a bit exposed. He would really be sitting like, we just get the angle that they do on TV a lot. He'll be sitting down like here. But we've got the main gun. So this is the anti-tank variant. So this variant would be built for knocking out tanks. It's basically just the SD.KFZ 251, but with the big gun on top. Also, SD.KFZ means Sonderkraftfahrzeug, which means Special Armoured Utility Vehicle. Every German vehicle during World War II got this designation, and it had the SD.KFZ number. So the Kettenkrad, so I'm not sure if I've done a video on this thing, is SD.KFZ 2. Not sure what SD.KFZ number the Panzer 3 is, but the only tanks that didn't have the SD.KFZ classification was, as far as I know, the Elephant Tank Destroyer, which I've got something secret in the works about that, and it's not Lego. Anyway, back to the build. So, it's got a nice little sloped front, the classic German slit headlights, two big thick front tyres, the wheels and the tracks, and the motor and a good portion of the pieces are all from made between 1978 and like 1980. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And it can drive. So I will just put this on the ground because it works better on the ground because it makes a hell of a noise on the thing. It doesn't go very far. So, pop it on the ground. See that all right? It's quite fast. And it seems to like going backwards a lot more. But yeah, half tracks after World War II just kind of didn't really exist as such. As especially a military, for some unknown reason, they just kind of disappeared. They were alright. They've got the speed and maneuverability and like traction of a tracked vehicle, and I don't actually know why half tracks existed. It's just one of those things. Same as tank destroyers, like specific tank destroyers. They, after World War II, you rarely saw new ones, except for the Kanon and Jagdpanzer. But anyway, that's it. Next episode, I will not be in this building. I'll be at my mum's place, and I will be doing. What will I be doing next week? I think I'm nearly up with my tanks. I think all I've got to do is the Type 97 Hargo, and have I done a video on the T-34? No, I need to finish that. So, tanks that still need to go. T-34, Bob Semple and its tractor base, and the T-34-85. And that will just about be it for the tanks. And there's another one. All I can say is that it's the Elephant Tank Destroyer, and it's not Lego. If you follow me on Instagram, and you would have remembered my story from about 2-3 months ago, it should explain that. Anyway, follow me on Instagram. I post lots of my Lego updates and stuff that I'm building there. Subscribe, like the video, blah blah blah. This is the first time in a while that I've asked for likes and subscribes. Yeah, that'll just about be it. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!